Hi there, Michelle Taylor, LPCC here. I realized that I have not done a video on anxiety, the cause of it, what it is, what's healthy anxiety, what's not healthy anxiety, ever. And that shocks me. So here I am doing a video on anxiety. Hopefully you could stick around and listen up because everybody has it. Life is not void of anxiety. You will always experience it. It is something that is very healthy for us. It keeps us safe. It keeps us healthy when it's in moderation. So what exactly happens when you feel anxious? Well, inside of your brain, and this is just brain 101. This is what I teach the little kids. You have your brain that looks like this. And here is the nice prefrontal cortex. Underneath that, you have this little part of your brain called the amygdala. And the amygdala is the thing that's in charge of fight, flight, or freeze. So when you feel attacked or there's a threat, your amygdala, your prefrontal cortex flips. This is the thing that keeps you rational and calm. And this thing, what I do with the little kids, it flips. And now your amygdala is in charge. And this is the thing that is fight, flight, or freeze. So imagine you were a caveman way back when. A tiger's approaching you. Your brain flips into amygdala mode, fight, flight, or freeze. And what this thing does is it shoots out hormones that helps you run faster, jump higher, get away, play dead, whatever. So those hormones are adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline is the thing that shoots through your body. You can feel it. It makes you jump higher. It makes you run fast. You can literally feel it go shooting through your body. And it takes a while for adrenaline to actually get out. So unless you go and actually run, you are stuck with this extra hormone in your body that feels like jittery. Cortisol is the stress hormone. It stresses your body to get you going. It makes you do something. So cortisol and adrenaline, when your brain is flipped because you're being threatened by the tiger, it helps you fight, flight, or freeze. And I don't really know the proper thing to get away from a tiger. Maybe run. I don't know. But some people play dead. Some people, I don't know. I've never been chased by a tiger. But back when we were a caveman, cave women, you had to respond through your amygdala to get away from the threat because it was the only thing to do to survive. Great. Awesome. That's what we need. Sometimes we need the amygdala to help us jump into action and get away from something that causes anxiety. And anxiety is something that is a stressful situation. So back in those days, the amygdala was very helpful to keep the species alive. Unfortunately, over the last thousands of years, our amygdala really hasn't advanced. It has been the same way for this whole time. Our prefrontal cortexes have advanced. We are able to process more and be more rational and absorb more information that helps us decipher what's a threat and what's not a threat. But unfortunately, when our prefrontal cortex flips, we are still left with this very primitive part of our brain that thinks that every single threat is a tiger. And so unfortunately, because we are so inundated with so much technology, so many external pressures, so much external stimuli. In fact, they say that in one day of our lives, the technology, the stimuli that we receive in one day is the amount of stimuli that a caveman had their entire life. So in one day, we are receiving so much trauma. We are receiving so much information that our brain, if it's not protected by the prefrontal cortex, if we're not in a good space, it flips, and now the amygdala is in charge, and it's going to put us in fight, flight, or freeze mode. It's going to shoot out some adrenaline. It's going to shoot out some cortisol to our body, and then we're left with extra hormones. And if you are just scrolling through on Instagram or you're scrolling through the news, your body is constantly in trauma mode. It is constantly in fight, flight, or freeze mode. And that's why we have depression and anxiety skyrocketing, because we are not, our amygdalas are not capable of handling such information. It is overstressed. It is overwhelmed. and you have to give it a break sometimes. So that's why in therapy, what we practice is this thing called grounding. What grounding does is it teaches you to refocus your attention off of stimuli that is overwhelming so that it gives your amygdala a break and it stops sending adrenaline and cortisol through your body. That's all it is. When you come to therapy, you learn how to ground. You learn how to restructure your brain or restructure your thoughts and do some exercises to refocus whatever it is you're thinking about. You're not getting rid of those traumatic things in the world. They're still there. The only difference is you're switching your brain over to something that is present. It's usually having to do with your five senses. What do you smell? What do you see? What do you hear? Getting yourself in your body and out of the trick that you're giving your amygdala and thinking that you're being attacked by a tiger in this very moment. You're not. It is a perceived threat. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times that there are real threats and you need your amygdala. Those are times when, safety. You're at home, burglar comes in, you've got to respond. When you are driving in your car and you have to slam on your brakes really quick. Those are times that your prefrontal cortex cannot be in charge. It can't sit there and go, should I brake? Should I not brake? No. Your amygdala, flips the lid and it immediately goes into, I'm in danger mode. You need to react. Here's some adrenaline to make you react quicker. So your amygdala is great if you're in real threat, if you're in real danger. That anxiety is really, really healthy. You need to do that in order to protect yourself and in order to stay safe and to continue surviving. But if you constantly throw stimuli at yourself that is perceived threats, then you're going to be overstimulated. And so a trick to this, and this is for all of those of you who have stuck through this video, you are getting an extra special treat. Basically, the trick to if you have overstimulated yourself and you are feeling extra anxious is literally go for a walk. You're tricking your amygdala into thinking that you're actually running away, and it doesn't understand that you're not running away. It just feels like you're running away from the threat. So take a walk. If you can't take a walk, then do something movement-wise in your body to get your mind, you're tricking it, to get your brain tricked to thinking that you're actually fleeing or you're doing something, you're attacking the threat. So that's the trick. I know it sounds so simple, but you got it. You got it. You made it to the end of this video. Anyways, comment below if you have any questions about anxiety. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. I used to be super scared of anxiety until I just started accepting that anxiety is a great part of life and it will always be a part of us. I love my anxiety. It gives me it's an indicator, like a red flashing light to tell me that something matters, something's important, something is threatening to me. And if I don't pay attention, then it's going to get out of control and that feels uncomfortable. But if I learn to pay attention to my anxiety and ask myself, what really is it trying to tell me? Then it gives me kind of like a heads up. It's like a little superpower. So I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any more questions about anxiety and please subscribe. Thanks.